Appreciate your time, Frank. This gentleman has done wonders for sim racing, the real world racers that come into sim racing or go back and forth. Frank's responsible to get some guys out on track. So without further ado, Mr. Frank Swartz, Grass Paddock Motorsports, tell us what you do.
What do we call this thing? The Raycing Line. I'm all out of sync. We got more people to deal with this week than what I'm used to. So thanks to my co-host Jason for joining us. Adam's back this week. And as you can see, we got a fourth sitting here. Megan Oversheet is already joining us to help us do some reviews and stuff. So thank you, Megan.
Let's go, Megan.
And help us. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, we're just getting ready to review the spec racers, and since we had an announcer in the waiting room, we thought we'd go ahead and bring you in.
Well, thank you very much.
There he is.
Hey, we got him.
Hey, Jason, we got you this time.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
We won't talk about the other thing.
Our special guest for the evening, Mr. Dave Ogburn, and for Dave to introduce you to these two knuckleheads, you got.
Great to see you, Thor. Welcome to the fourth chair and the podcast this week.
No, thank you so much for having me. It feels surreal, like finally being able to talk to you guys. You know, I've been in this league for like 2-3 years, and finally face to face.
Yes, of course, yes.
Jeff.
You're on the spot now, Jeff.
Oh.
So, welcome, Mr. Jeff Jacobson. Again. Great to have you here. Thanks for taking some time out to join us. We get to some fun part. That's why you're here, Jerry. This is our guest segment after the reviews. So thanks for sitting through with us. And
that was fun.
And
thanks.
Yeah, it's some good racing. So, well, first of all, we gotta say thank you to Trenton for taking time to come join us. He's one of the hardest working guys I know, and you can look there in the shop behind him and get an idea of what he does. So as everybody sees, we've got Darren Ganji, and if you didn't know already, he is Mr. Sim Motion, where you can get all your sim rigs and equipment and everything. He's also the sponsor of that league we were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Sean Ambrose, we go back forever, back to the very early beginning days of the Weekend Warriors, when it was broadcasted on another broadcast, GSRC, I don't mind saying it. Very good to us. And Sean was one of the producers, announcers, always great to talk with.
So, Mr. Edgar Sancinelli, Weekend Warrior, Frito Sport Racing. I don't know what all you do, but great to have you join us tonight, Edgar.
Yes.
I'm not saying shit. Oh, yeah, I literally. Whatever, I give up.
There you go.
I know you've had a mute for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when you
yeah.
for the views when Adam and you were there. I mean, it's jeez.
Oh yeah.
And welcome everybody to the 29th edition of the Racing Line. We got our regular keyboard warriors with us tonight, so good to see you guys. Welcome Adam, JG, and man, what a rock star. Look at you, Mr. Ron Maunz. Thanks for joining us tonight, buddy.
Happy to be back. It's been a little while since I was on this show, but I'm here to have some fun.
Yep. What was it, October or something like that? And you didn't have a camera that time, so everybody gets to put a...
Yeah, everyone gets to see the reason why I'm usually just behind a microphone instead of behind the camera. I did have a webcam back then. It was the crappiest thing in the world. I bought it on eBay back in 2021 with how little money 16-year-old me had. And genuinely, I feel like I'd be better off filming myself with a russet potato. So
here we go. It's going to be a fun night, guys.
Yeah. It's true. I didn't see him look at it like a notebook or anything.
Yeah,
that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's got like
a
big poster like right above his microphone.
All these weird
like
sayings up there.
With all the
it's just I got all written
Adam,
on the mic stand. It's just like falling anvil, UFO abduction, just all of them scratched out in pencil.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so if we see you standing up in a little while, you're going to be crossing one out, going on to the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got
Tam's already given you crap. It's how weird Adam's quiet. So
yeah, I guess who forgot to unmute their mic again.
I think Adam's quietness is being offset by my loud mouthery, so I think it balances out at the end of the
balance. Day. Yeah, we'll have a balanced night. So
all right, let's get into these videos real quick here. Ron, you're gonna have to listen to yourself, buddy, and I apologize.
Yep.
I know you don't like it, but yep, headsets are coming off here.
Oh boy, that was a phobia for me for the longest time, listening to my own voice.
Yeah.
I gotta say as well, Stevie, excellent choice in terms of some of the races we were running this weekend. Holy cow!
Yeah, thanks. I didn't expect this one to be quite so dark, or I would.
It was.
Yeah.
But it was chucking down raining. But yeah, they iRacing made a change in the lighting. In this most recent update, and I'm not really a fan. It looks like there was black smoke coming off of the back of the cars instead of spray.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did. I think by the end of the race, we were up to like 80% rain. And the V's handled it really, really well.
Until, except there.
Well. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's just there was a puddle on the inside of turn 2 that if you hit, you would just understeer.
Yeah, somebody didn't see it, and it was me.
Yeah, more than one person.
I think I revealed this stat during the broadcast. The fact that this is like the oldest version, like oldest layout of Monza that's still around outside the oval. It was built back in the 60s or something like that. That section is how you could tell that it's still the same layout from the 60s.
Yep.
Like no gravel trap inside. It's just basically track, small little patch of grass, and then death into the wall.
Very fast driver in the spec racer Ford, but going from a spec racer Ford to a Formula
it was a lot of fun. It came off better than I was hoping it would, and had some good racing.
Yeah, when I first saw the layout, I was like, are you sure? And then I saw it was raining, and I was like, perfect. Perfect.
Tucked in behind Trenton Kramer.
I feel like adding a splash of rain to even the most questionable of track choices always makes it 10 times better. Oh, here's your moment, Adam.
Oh, there goes Adam.
Got to pause this real right here, real quick. So, I think that was James Sheldon that ran into the back of me. Okay, and James was apologizing profusely after that happened. First of all, James, thank you for the apology. I would like to ask other people when someone apologizes, just to let it bygones are bygones. That's all I'm gonna say. But yes, James, it was fun racing you guys. I don't care. It was a week 13 fun race. We were supposed to have some fun with it.
They're right on cue with me.
But I was having some fun.
Weekend Warriors, but as you can see,
here comes JG.
Jason Green gonna make it
3 wide.
Flirting with that white line though. Look how my right tires are to it.
Yeah, you were.
And
I'd love to have a counter for the Week 13 Runoffs broadcast. The amount of strange noises that I made over the show.
Yeah, especially in the second two races.
The Formula Fords, which we'll be seeing later.
Yeah. Jim, you'd be surprised. I thought the same thing, but sometimes it doesn't.
Sadger, James Sheldon, and Michael McConnell getting a piece of that action as well. And let's see.
I also see Jim asking if I have a hair product sponsor. That may be a question later on in the podcast.
Oh, 100%.
What kind of hair products they use?
Yep.
I use
Mike
Casual
McConnell
TTX.
this guy's usually quick in the rain. I was surprised he was.
But he's also in a V, which is different for Michael as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the V's drive different from any other car in the rain.
That looks rather similar.
I did not expect to be that far up. I was surprised. And then I could see Tor coming a couple behind me, and it was like, cue the shark music, here he comes.
Dude, Nate Colacio was extremely fast behind me, but he kept making mistakes when he got to me.
Like I mentioned, these guys.
Nate is super quick in these Formula Vs. I think if he can show up a little bit more and maybe just take an extra step, I think he's probably going to be a bit of a thorn in the side to Tor and Jason.
Yep. 100%.
But it must have been some sort of off-track encounter.
Oh, look, Trent did the same thing that James did.
That close call with Trent Kramer. Holy.
It's so counterintuitive braking for that junior section.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I still got like a mile of straightaway left to go. Ah, crap, a corner.
Yeah, there's really no reference either.
No, there wasn't.
Just kind of somewhere after the white wall.
Yeah, that's kind of, everyone was just kind of gauging, and then you got to try to stay off the white lines under braking.
Last up here. And of course, Trent always goes for the crossover.
He drops back down to third. Felix Samoa's in the race lead. Perry going to be enjoying the drift.
Ooh, did he get out into the water there? Oh no, he kept it down there.
Nope.
Going to use that
That's why I got shuffled back. I ran a little too wide into the...
Where'd they go?
They're gone.
Yeah, you can't hardly see them there.
Felix Samoa's heading down that back straightaway off into Parabolica for the
Yeah,
final
the
time.
black smoke there.
Race of the day. They're side by side. Kramer.
Yeah, they're lighting, the change they did this time is a bit off.
Yep.
Felix, mad props to him for backing off and making this a fun race.
Oh yeah.
He was about 2.5 seconds ahead. I was in the Discord with him.
Yep.
And he goes, "This is supposed to be fun." He goes, and then the next thing I hear is him miking up saying he's going to back off.
Yeah, he told me that in the green room waiting, that he was having some fun and surprised he got out because he was so new to the car.
Yeah.
Whoops, there goes. Oh, that was afterwards.
Yep.
Yep.
And results. Felix, congrats, buddy. Backing off 2.5 seconds and still winning that race is impressive, but I think everybody got their footing under him, halfway through that race, and it got a lot more fun. Trent and Jason rounding out the top three. There are masters and stuff in there, but honestly, because this is a fun race, I think it would. Congrats to everyone, first of all, for showing up and making it. I mean,
true. Yep.
How many cars were in that Formula V grid? Like 30 something.
37?
30.
Yep. 31, 37.
Yeah, I think it was 32. 31, excluding Mr. Joshua Wilkie, who was classed in last. You'll see this as a trend if you tune back into that Week 13 show. We all signed up.
Yep.
Josh did it, then Mike did for the Formula Fords, and I was like, I gotta complete the trio for the spec race.
Well, it's funny because we thought you were gonna race. I was like, oh man, is Ron gonna try to in-car commentate this one?
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, thankfully, it kind of took me out of the sim rig for XSLR, but my back is no longer feeling completely terrible. So I may potentially hit the grid in the not too far off future.
Good. Well, there's a Sunday night league with your name written all over it, Ron. And if your back just got to feeling better, we're on jumpy trucks now, so it's going to start hurting again.
Let me do the
look
thing
at
real quick. You can catch XSLR on slow motion broadcasting every single Sunday night.
Yeah. This one was the race I was more concerned about than the others, just because it was so different from what we normally do.
Oh, it was gnarly. I mean, these things, you could not tune the twitchiness out of them.
Yeah, they were so twitchy.
That's a pretty solid start for Felix Samoa as he's going to jump into the race lead already.
Man, these
I
guys
think after
are
about
just
4
running
laps in
nose
this
to tail,
race,
3, 4 wide.
myself and Mike Braun in the broadcast
there
booth
is no
genuinely ran
rhyme or
out of
reason
different
really with these guys as
onomatopoeias
they're
Yeah.
today.
behind, getting a
It
little
was
draft,
it was
and,
fun.
oh,
It was
God,
one of the
look at
most.
that.
cars coming down into
Yeah.
turn 3 and 4.
To be fair, the Formula Fords made it further around the oval.
Cow. I'm
Than the
Let's not
SRFs
talk
did.
about what's about to happen here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the SRFs
We're
are
not
wrecked
touching
already,
that one.
though.
It's also absolutely terrifying for those drivers out there on the racetrack right now. Let's look at this. 4 wide nearly. Heading off through 3 and 4 as a field goes
That
their
is
way
just
on. That is a
ridiculous.
beautiful
Oh my
camera
God,
shot.
There I am, not paying attention. Sorry, guys.
Multiple cars
I
coming to
apologize to
blows.
everybody
Got a piece
behind
of
me.
that action as well. I think Kane Lasky's upside down.
And you keep bouncing.
Multiple drivers.
Yeah, someone was
Holy
yelling
cow,
not
that
to
is a
hold
big
their
one.
brakes. I was like, I can't! I'm upside
Yeah,
down!
that was me.
That had to.
Antonio drifted backwards
Guys, the way
across
they
the
keep
track into
running.
me.
Yep.
But you got about 10, 12 cars just. Oh,
Yeah.
Basically,
man.
after
After
Fred
that-
Flintstone it to
Coming
get
down that
stopped
back
upside
straightaway.
down just to get
Yeah.
your hands out.
Just put my
That's
hands
gonna
up.
lead to just nothing good, honestly, as these guys are
I don't
continuing.
know, maybe later on in the show, Adam, I'll ask you for your favorite Fred Flintstone impression. Listen to that
Don't know
sound
how
for me,
that-
good lord.
There was a couple of those where I'm like, how did they not crash?
Yeah,
Nearly
yeah.
in the midst of some 3-wide action heading down into turn at number
It
1.
was constant
Someone's exiting the pits. That's
3
a
and 4
terrifying
wide,
view.
even in the
Speaking of
oval
terrifying,
here.
look at the
It was
lapped
a little
car.
bump,
Oh,
yeah.
the contact thing down into turn number 1 and 2. Oh,
I don't know, maybe it's just because of my experience not being a very good sim driver, but whenever I see wheel-to-wheel contact in the Formula Fords, I am petrified for what's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
happen next.
So
Yeah.
is everybody that's getting
Yeah.
contact.
Yep.
It's usually launch time.
Yep.
I swear to God, I don't know how I could recreate some of these sound effects. I don't think I could if you gave me a million attempts.
Oh,
God.
my.
Holy cow. Kurt Nunez nearly just got turned.
How no
And
one
that was a
ballparked it there
97
is an
that Jason
absolute
Bouncing the
miracle.
wall. Oh, more
And there
contact.
we go.
Into
What
the
just
wall.
happened
That's not gonna
there?
be good.
Closing down that halfway point, so 12
Yeah,
minutes
Michelle
in right now
put a
of
tire
this
in the grass.
25-minute race. There's chaos
Bonk.
coming into turn 3.
Yeah, and that was the leaders coming up to
That's a
this.
big one in
Mhm.
front of the drivers at the
Whoa.
front of the field. Holy
And another-
cow. Action we've had going on thus far, apart
So
from
shout out to
the
Kurt. He's about to die right now, but
Yeah.
Kurt was in the lead at one point. Let's go, Kurt.
Look at
Whoa.
contact. Nunez into the wall.
Rip Kurt.
Just is getting a piece of that
Yeah.
action as well. More drama heading off down that start finish straight away. Trent Kramer dancing around on the high line
Nice
right in
lap.
front of him. Samoa's
That was such a
on
good
the
camera.
apron. Let's see how this is going to work for
I had
Lasky.
to
Look at that, getting the run
Slap
coming out
another
of
guy
there.
on the
Let's see
inside.
how this is going to work. Felix Samoa is trying to grab the Weekend Warriors sweep. The transition is from the low stuff to the super high stuff, and you can see that car bouncing around. That was super sketchy. You got some lap traffic involved in this as well, which is not really helping out Trent Kramer's cause one bit. Let's see how this is going to work out. That right there is a 30 car in the midst of all of that action as well. Don't believe he is going to get a piece of that. That's Keith.
Sorry, guys.
Up high.
There's a new dog in here, by the way. That's Theodore. That is Sarah's mom's dachshund.
And who's going to grab the checkered flag? Will it be Kramer? Will it be Lasky? Will it be Samoa's Lasky?
Have to have a dog cam for these podcasts.
I know.
Felix in third coming onto the front straight.
Yep.
And winning it at the end.
I didn't know where the start-finish line was for this race. That's why I held it off. There
Yeah.
we go.
Stevie Ray now battling
Yeah, it was
the
different
fence,
for
got
every
Hope,
race, I
cars
think.
coming around.
Oh, wow.
Slow car on the
Yeah.
inside. Stevie able to
I
just
slapped
select
it,
that
you
back
know.
together
Yeah.
It just
As little wiggles out of Stevie losing the
That was
lead.
some
Little,
matrix
target?
moves from you, Stevie, when that happens.
Little target fixation there, Stevie?
No, I was moving to pass, and then he was on the inside, so I was trying to shoot the gap.
Yeah, the car on the entry of 3 and 4, it the car pulls down to the right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Will Ray's
Oh, he was. He was.
Right.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray in the 911 car.
Watch this. You are so lucky.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was just like there.
Oh.
I felt a
That's a
tap,
shave.
so,
Photo
yeah.
finish right
Here's
to the
the,
line.
shave right
At
there.
the end of it all, it was 11
Cost me the position.
second between Felix Samoa's and Kane Lasky.
Felix goes 2 for 2.
Yep, that's 2 for 2 for
It was,
Felix right now.
The day of Felix.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was. He's well, Monty wasn't here, so Felix is going to take up. What's What's the person that works for the janitor? I know somebody works for the janitor. That's who Felix was today. With Monty being out, Felix. Felix started cleaning up here. But yeah, again, everybody that did that race, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. Looking back on it now was an absolute blast. It was a ball buster while we were all doing it, but it was an absolute blast.
Yep.
All right, moving on to what I might say, if it doesn't make iRacing not top 10, I don't know what does.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just hear me speaking in tongues throughout this part of the event.
We ran this in faux speed a couple seasons ago, and pretty much exactly this thing happened, so I was expecting it.
Are these drivers going to risk and go 3 and 4 wide? I have a feeling they probably will.
Oh, we made it through the first.
2x2 at the front.
We made it through the first oval, the first bank. It was down in 3 and 4 that it
involved in all of that
went
as
sideways.
well. But Samoas and Halliburton, they're side by side. Jason Green and Antonio Reese side by side. Josh Arnold getting a piece of that action as well in the 36. Look at them packing up, coming out of turn number 1. They're already
because the play here is the bump draft. You'll go like 3 seconds a lap faster. You just attach onto the rear bumper of the car.
And then somebody gets a wiggle.
Yep.
I just remember saying, Jason, don't lift.
There.
So I did not lift.
Already into the wall. That's going to be a big one. Into the wall, outside.
Yeah, I definitely said that.
Damn. Yeah. That was a mess.
Just
Yep.
sheer chaos. It looked like.
And
it gets worse.
It started so far up front that everybody had to come through it.
It's still
Yeah, Antonio and I make contact.
Oh, you can see that camera. I'm surprised that didn't get taken out. Look at Adam Thompson.
It's just massive carnage.
I did not lift. I was trying to go over the top of Trent at that point.
Yeah.
See Adam's directly ahead.
Oh!
Or almost gets past it, but Adam lands on him.
On the Maunz Oval.
And see, that's a good lesson for you, Adam, not to treat a spec racer Ford car like a monster truck.
I tried it, and I'll try it again.
Here we go.
Fair
Launch.
enough. I actually got it in slow motion here. Watch both Adam and Trent. They're both airborne at the same time.
My only request, Adam, for you,
like 20 cars.
and my only request for you, Adam, in terms of treating the spec racer Ford car like a monster truck, is make sure you do that far away from my commentary booth.
There goes Jason upside down.
Yeah. Included my onboard here.
Nathan, we got to get up there. Hold on.
Don't do it, Flavio.
Oh no, Flavio. Oh no, Flavio. Oh no, Flavio.
The worst part.
And pow.
Wee.
Bad luck.
Those Jersey barriers on iRacing are evil. That's part of the reason why I've flipped in just about every single car I've ever driven on in iRacing.
You know, Michelle Lynn brought up a term that I haven't heard before.
Yes.
Sleeping policeman. That is also known as a turtle. Or the anti-cut curves, whatever you want to call them. Michelle calls them sleeping policemen, and I will never call them anything else now.
I've started to refer to them as the overcooked sausage curbs because you can chip your teeth on both.
Upside down on that number 51 car.
We had some fun back here with Dan Sadro and
oh yeah.
And then it breaks in a little bit. And it goes off.
Oh, I'd say you had some fun, Stevie.
Missed it.
Oh,
and then, yeah.
The rejoin. The
Yep.
rejoin.
Yeah.
Oof.
Last lap here.
If this is going to end in tears heading down.
This last lap felt like it was 18 minutes long in the commentary booth.
Well, yeah, I mean, it didn't help that Michelle and I were literally right in front of the leaders.
Making y'all's cameos there as the drivers battle for the win.
Were they in your draft?
They
had to have been at that point, yeah.
So there's the start finish line. I paused it on it.
Oh, okay.
Going to be enough. 8/100ths of a second.
Get it right,
All,
yep.
All 3 races were
Took me a little bit.
less than a tenth, I think.
for the final spots inside the top 5, involving Andre Favini, Eric Luke, and Michael Odell.
Go,
Odell,
Andrea.
standout stars in the Spec 2 category.
Also, Eric
Weekend
Luke
Warriors.
joined us last week.
Standout star as is. Let's see how it shakes out.
And, of course, Michael Odell.
But that finish at the front, I can't even talk about the finish now.
Casual attempted murder there. It's fine.
Parabolica, that could have been.
Oh, I should have zoomed in. The back of Antonio's car, it says Batonio.
Batonio?
Yeah. Like, and it has the Batman symbol next to it.
That's awesome.
Watching Daniel Wood going through.
I didn't notice it until he went past me in the race. Here's another close finish between Dan Wood and Josh Arnold. And it cracked me up as he went past.
Batonio, there it is.
The plexiglass horn, I guess, would be the best way to describe it here in these Spec Racer Fords. And here we go. This is going to be a battle right to the line. Look at Thompson getting that run. He's going to finish this race in P34 at the end of all of it. I'm kind of terrified.
I'm pretty sure Trent was going backwards here.
There you can see him heading through the high banks. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I did not warn Mike Braun about the Weekend Warriors tradition.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe my sense of humor is just completely broken, but seeing some of the cars on iRacing just get thrown around like rag dolls always just breaks me in half on these shows.
So good.
Well,
God.
Oh, you ballparked it. There we go.
Again, yep, top 11 there, guys. You did it again, Stevie. I have to tell you, man, it was an absolute blast. Just awesome to be a part of, and all of these drivers coming across all of these different leagues. They're all Weekend Warriors, but you don't get to see people like, I don't know, Michael McConnell in a Formula V ever. So to see people that you don't normally race with theirs, pretty
jump in and have some fun. Yep.
Exactly. Pretty damn cool.
Yep. Not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical when it was revealed to us what we were doing, but yeah, it actually was a fantastic idea. One that I never would have thought of. So yeah, great job as always, Stevie.
You didn't put the figure 8 in there, which we're going back to. We go.
Yeah.
Well.
Yep.
The figure 8 was used for the Formula V draft party on Friday night.
Yeah,
I was a part of that.
Yep.
I actually made my appearance mainly because me starting that absolutely terrible yet fantastic idea. I think I started it on the air. I had to follow through and be a part of that race. And did I do terribly? Yes. Was it expected? Also, yes.
So there will be, I will tell you right now, at the end of the XSLR season, we take a much longer break, probably 1, 2, maybe 3 months, probably about 1.5 to 2 months. There is going to be a figure 8 race at the end of that, and all of you Weekend Warriors are invited. We're gonna do a figure 8 at either Slinger or at Irwin, or what's the other one? Help me out, Ron. There's 2 of them.
Irwindale.
Yeah. So
it is.
We'll do one or the
God
other.
rest that track soul.
Multi-class.
I think they just torn it down as well.
We're going to throw Formula Vs in there. We'll throw some Formula Fords in there. Might even throw a Pro 2 truck in there. Who knows? You might see a GTP, maybe a GT3. We're just going to send it, guys. We're just going to send it. So
sounds like fun.
Yep. But all right. Well, that's a wrap for season 1 of 2025, huh, Stevie?
Yeah, that was fun. We had a good season, crowned some good champs, and topped it off with that. Like I said, it went better than what I was even hoping for. I was a little concerned about that oval with the Formula Fords, but some of the feedback I got, that was the most fun of all 3 of them for several guys. So it exceeded my expectations, so I was happy with it. So
yeah.
Then I promise, since we kept this one secret and didn't let anybody know, I promise next time that I will make the tracks known in advance. So it'll be the flip side of that coin, so everybody can practice all week and spend all their time and then get wrecked out on the first lap.
I like it, Stevie. I like it.
Right.
All right. And well, before we get into our guest segment, a little birdie told me that we've got a special guest in the chat tonight.
Oh yeah.
And I want to recognize that person. And they have completed another lap, a lap around the sun tomorrow. So happy birthday, Tam. our honorary weekend warrior. Always great to have you around and appreciate you. But hope you have a great day tomorrow. Happy birthday, Tam.
Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta say, I was just gonna say, I think I've shared this on the air, how Tam was in the broadcast booth for a Spec Racer Ford race a couple of seasons ago. I think it was for season 2 or 3 of 2024.
Yeah.
Fantastic person. She is so enthusiastic about racing and about the Weekend Warriors. I always love seeing her in the YouTube chat. So happy birthday, Tam.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching actually that video. You sent it to me because when you guys moved over here to slow motion broadcasting, it was
last June.
Yeah, it took a couple weeks, and finally, I think it was Ron actually. So it was more than a couple weeks. Finally, I was like, who the hell is this Tamara Stubbe that keeps showing up? Like, who is this person? And Ron goes, oh, I know her. I'll send you a video. And I saw the video, and it all made sense. Tam, a Weekend Warriors fan through and through. Obviously, Jim Brewster's sister. I apologize about that, Tam. But thank you so much for being around with us and, just livening up the chat.
Yep. All right. Mr. Ron Maunz, back in with us. Like you said, you were with us in October, I believe. And
Episode 10.
Episode 10. So 19 ago.
Crazy.
Appreciate you taking time out once again to join us. There's been a few changes that has happened going around since then. So
there has.
Yep. So we went through all your racing, your go-kart and everything last time. Let's talk about what's been going on since you were here last, all the changes. Tell us what's going on with you and SMB and all that kind of stuff.
So going back to my last appearance here on this show back in, I think it was around mid-October for episode 10. In the 5 months since then, we've had basically the entirety of the Ray Esports Club Racing League series on Wednesday nights over on SMB. SMB as a whole has really grown. We got some new series coming in. Obviously, the return of XSLR, American Muscle Series. Weekend Warriors, we are going to have a nice return. I want to have this be said here. Anyone who's tuned into the Weekend Warriors before will remember a certain Mr. Charles Bichelle, who will be back with me in the commentary booth for this brand new season of Weekend Warriors.
Yep.
Charles is such a fantastic guy. When I first got into the booth for a Weekend Warriors show, really full time about a year ago, Charles and I were kind of like, I can't tell whether it's like itchy and scratchy or otherwise, but that's basically how him and I meshed on the air. You take a Southern gentleman and you time him with an uptight Philadelphian, and then it somehow worked, surprisingly so. So I'm very happy to have Charles back. Him and I have been doing the Ray Esports stuff on Wednesdays, and there's been a lot of stuff for me personally. I've worked on 3 shows on the iRacing YouTube channel. My 4th is going to be this upcoming Friday. They put me on the iRacing Chili Bowl broadcast, and then the Bathurst 12, where I was immediately let in by Arjuna Kankapati and had a panic attack for the first 15 minutes that I was on that show. And then the iRacing Drive for Wishes Make-A-Wish charity event, which was another fantastic success. I was a part of that broadcast back in 2023, so it was nice to be on there in 2025. But it's been a lot of wild crap going on, and least of all of that, I've decided to grow a bit of scruff, and I've not had a single haircut in that period, as all of you could probably tell.
Must be nice to be able to grow hair that long, Ron. I mean, even if I could, I don't think I could get it that long. So, yeah.
I will say there's a rhyme or reason for this. Both of my brothers, who I rarely, if ever, talk about on the air because they are, I think my older brother Michael is either in his very late 30s or early 40s, and my brother Kevin is like mid 30s.
Hey,
they're both bald.
Okay, see.
That's why I'm keeping my hair as long as I can. I've already started to thin out. I'm shedding actively.
You can't mention mid 30s and then say they're both bald because I'm there. Like this, I'm hanging on for dear life at this point. But,
Adam, if it makes you feel any better, my brother Kevin was basically bald by the time he was 18. So he was way ahead of the curve. I think what you've got right now, you're gonna be fine with. I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that the falling anvil of male pattern baldness doesn't fall on you.
Yeah, man, it's been a whirlwind, I think, for all of us here in slow motion broadcasting, and it's crazy to see what we had a year ago compared to what we have now. Not knowing where slow motion broadcasting was going, obviously bringing Stevie in as kind of the head of it for a while, and bringing somebody else in first and then bringing Stevie in has been. I think that saved slow motion broadcasting for the short. I don't think it did. I know it saved slow motion broadcasting for the short term, and watching somebody like yourself and Joshua come in now and do what you guys are doing for it. I've always had this kind of vision or whatever of slow motion broadcasting. I wanted, when people say, "Who are you broadcasted by?" I don't care if it's the biggest broadcast on iRacing. When people say, "Who are you broadcasted by?" I don't want them, "Oh, I'm broadcasted by some podunk, broadcast that only does 2 every month or something." You know what? So when people say the word slow motion broadcasting, or the term slow motion broadcasting, I want them to understand what that is. It's a broadcasting company, and yourself, Stevie, and Ron, yourself, Stevie, and Josh, I don't think it would happen, or it would not have happened without you guys. So, yeah, man, it's pretty cool to see. It's cool to see you. I'm gonna say grow up as well. Doing this, you've kind of taken the reins on the commentary side over there, which is awesome. Taking control of that and allowing Josh to go off and deal with the production side and the acquisition and the graphics and all that stuff is crazy. So kind of walk me through that. Did you expect it to be as difficult as it is?
I wouldn't say it's difficult. It's definitely been a learning curve for sure. The entirety of my time doing this broadcasting stuff, I've kind of had to grow as a person as all of it's been going on. When I first started broadcasting a little over 2 years ago, I was still in high school at the time. I was like freshly 18, had no idea what I was doing in life, period. And even in the 5 months since the last time I was on the show, I feel like I've matured a lot as a person, trying to get the commentators and everyone squared away over at SMB. Josh and I are kind of working together in terms of building up the content side of everything at slow motion broadcasting as well. I don't really mention this on the air because when I first got into broadcasting, I kind of had a pact with myself that I wouldn't use it as a means of self-promotion. But before I got into broadcasting, I used to make my own YouTube videos about IndyCar history and all that stuff. And I had moderate success with it. I think I'm at 3,800 subscribers or something like that, which may not be.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than I ever expected it to, because I started writing those first videos I posted back when I was 15. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I still don't. But that kind of taught me the content side of things. Then I got into broadcasting later on and had to learn about that. So I know how big posting YouTube videos and stuff like that can be for a YouTube channel, and I've kind of talked about every now and then about building up slow motion broadcasting's YouTube channel to the point where they get 2,000 subscribers. I'll let you guys get a word in here eventually.
No, you
but
won't.
Kind of having a conversation, yeah, I probably won't. But having a conversation with Josh and kind of building up the content side of things at slow motion broadcasting, that's been kind of like a hand-in-hand partnership, because Josh found my YouTube channel rather early on into him and I doing this broadcasting stuff, because him and I started around the same time. So he kind of knows the background that I had. I know that he's full guns blazing about building SMB. And I think with the Weekend Warriors, with the Sim Racers Group Series, with American Muscle Series, XSLR, don't worry, I didn't forget about you, Adam, and some of the new stuff that we have coming up to slow motion broadcasting as well. We've got an IndyCar League that's going to be coming up in a couple of months, so stay tuned for that. As I
that's
knock
going to be
into
awesome.
my microphone wire. But we got a lot of stuff coming up on slow motion broadcasting, so I think trying to build that to get to the point where it's like a community. In an odd way, the Weekend Warriors is such a strong community, and slow motion broadcasting, just period, all across all the series, could be a nice community as well. So that's kind of been something that Josh and I are looking to build.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's going great. To Stevie, this is your show. I'll turn it back over to you. There are more questions than I expected there to be for Ron, so we can get right to them now. Jason, you got anything?
I thought I liked Dan's question.
Okay, there we go. Getting into the questions.
I guess one, have you found your limit of how many broadcasts you can do in a short period of time? And are you still doing every one that you can?
So I think because Dan was in the Formula V draft party on Friday, and I kind of joked about this.
I think he won that one too. So let's go, Dan.
That he did. He did very well and all that. It was an absolutely hilarious race to be a part of. Yeah, that keep sniffing on that hopium, Adam. Oh boy! And before I got myself kicked off this broadcast, I think. I'm trying to think of what my limit would be for a certain day. I think probably 3 a day is the most I've done thus far. I did that a couple of Wednesdays ago, and by the end of it, my tongue was basically hanging out on the floor at the end of it all. I remember having a conversation with a few different commentators I've worked with at RaceSpot and iRacing and all those big companies, shall we say. And I remember being like, oh yeah, I've done so many shows, and they're just like, geez, are you okay?
Yeah.
I mean, the answer to that is no. Based on some of the stuff I say on the air, you could probably tell. I have a playlist that I'm keeping with throughout this year. As it stands currently, and that will be changing since I have a couple of shows this weekend, of course, season 2 of The Weekend Warrior starting up. As it stands right now, I am sitting at 80 shows thus far this year.
Okay.
And it's actually slowed down quite a significant amount over the past couple of weeks, over the season swap, and me kind of departing a different broadcasting company because of reasons that I will not get into on the air, because that is the business between me, the light pole, and this wall. I should not have done that. That just shook the whole house.
You just got fully committed to SMB, so there you go.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I was...
honestly, of all the companies to be sticking my guns with,
that's one thing that I was kind of hoping would have happened. Now, I wished it would have happened a different way. I never expected nor wished what happened did happen. But to see you come over, I mean, even when I was still kind of running it, I wanted to give you a bigger role, like what we could. I mean, obviously, we can talk about the struggles of sim racing broadcasting, and let me tell you, there are plenty of them. So to be able to,
it's a challenge.
Yeah, to be able to give someone a bigger role, but be able to have the funds to give them a bigger role that's a totally different story. But yeah, to be able to see you taking on a bigger role, I snoop around. Someone gave me a different role in the Discord, and they forgot to get rid of all my admin privileges. So every now and then, I may or may not snoop up into some of those top secret.
I tried
chats.
to change my role, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I know. Yeah, so up into those top secret chats and see what's going on up there. You go. It's
behind
really cool.
closed doors.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's awesome to see, and I'm happy for you, and I cannot wait to see where your career takes you. Before we get back to questions, I'm going to ask you another thing. Speaking of your career and where you want it to take you, has it changed since October? What is your... I'm going to do it early, Stevie. What is your main goal out of all of your broadcasting stuff? And the reason I ask that is because there was a question at the beginning of this broadcast, so we'll get to that after you give me your main goal.
I would say my main goal is to keep working down the broadcasting routes. I would be open to kind of breaking away from just doing like racing broadcast, period. It was what kind of sent me down this route in the first place was a kind of an epiphany moment that I had back in 2022 when I was still in high school, thinking I want to make a living entertaining people, even if it's making myself out to be a jackass on the air, which I feel like is something that I do rather well, strangely enough. That was kind of a realization that I made. So doing this broadcasting stuff and just entertaining people was always kind of the goal that I had in mind in terms of making a career. So I think long term, in terms of all this stuff, I've gone too far down this rabbit hole to jump out.
Right.
So I'm just going to go full steam ahead for this broadcasting stuff. And who knows? I think if I luck out of this stuff, I may be able to make a career out of it potentially.
Well, there are much worse commentators that are much higher up in ranks. Lee Diffie, that are very. I think you've got a chance, man. I really do. Yeah, I would just tell you to stick with it. But with that being said, RGL Motorsports, that was Ross Lundgren, I believe, asked a question earlier, saying, question for Ron. If given the opportunity, would you get back into wheel-to-wheel racing in a Formula car or sports racer with your karting background?
Oh, that is a very good question. I've had the vision of me well farther down the line once I've made my money in terms of being a broadcaster, and I could just say, you know what, I want to get back into driving. I'd probably end up going down the route of sports cars or lower level formula stuff. I mean, on iRacing, I am not a very good sports car driver, and I'm hoping that I won't have to prove that that is the case, but I feel like I would just for the comedy sakes. But I feel like the more realistic option in terms of getting into motorsports as a gentleman driver would probably be through sports car racing. It's a tough question because when I stepped out of the kart coming up to 2 years ago at this point, back in June of 2023, I kind of quit cold turkey, if I'm being completely honest. I have not stepped foot in a go-kart since, which is absolutely bizarre. But I feel like if I did end up getting back into racing a little bit farther down the line and it was in a high level thing, I'd probably end up picking sports cars. I will say I never did any true wheel to wheel racing. I mainly stayed on the autocross side of things with the SCCA, and not to toot my own horn, I did pretty all right. I got 8 championships. I trophied at solo nationals twice, so I was an okay driver. And then I transitioned from being an okay driver to a mediocre broadcaster. So clearly things are going in the right direction for me. So I think if I got back into racing, I would go down the sports car route.
Jim said, why isn't karting a final goal? It's more affordable.
I gotta say, in terms of karting stuff, doing the autocross stuff was the cheapest way to go about racing. Me and my dad, back when we were driving, and he can attest to this because he's in the YouTube chat and he has the TV downstairs so loud I can actually hear it if I'm quiet for too long. Oh yeah, he has the TV volume at a steady click of 65, and I go down and I'm like, Dad, your hearing can't be that bad. And it's like, oh yeah, it's not that bad. I just want to feel the waves hitting me. I'm like, I don't even know what to say.
That sounds like your dad, Rod.
My dad is the king of sarcasm. In fact, I'm pretty sure my entire conception was designed as a joke. Not touching that one.
But, you already touched it, Rod. You already went there, buddy.
Yeah, we did. I may have an interesting discussion at the end of all of this, but sorry, what was the question?
Oh, so the question was, why isn't karting a final goal? Yeah.
Yes. Karting not being the final goal. That fell off the rails there. I apologize. But back when Dad and I were still doing the karting stuff, we used to call ourselves Broke Ass Motorsports. It was Broke $$ Motorsports.
That's what
had it on the side of our trailer. Yeah. That used to be our unofficial team name. From all of the years that we were doing the karting stuff, basically all of the money went into racing. You'd see these people showing up with their big trailers and everything. We just had a trailer with a bit of wood on it, one of those folding ones that you'd buy at a Harbor Freight. Had carts that we bought for no more than about I think the last one we got was the most expensive at $3,000, and that was a cart, a trailer, and everything. So we went about in racing the cheapest way we could have. And part of the reason why I decided, I think I should switch to this broadcasting stuff is because I thought it was just getting too expensive. My buddy Robbie Campbell does some decent level karting stuff. He races in the Stars Championship series, or at least he did. Runs in the shifter kart classes, and him and his dad spend inordinate amounts of money to go to those events. You're talking about, Yeah, you're talking about 10 gallons of fuel. The fuel for the carts is like $10 a gallon at its cheapest. It's expensive stuff for the high octane stuff. The tires are about $250 a set, and some of the top running guys at some of those wheel-to-wheel events go through 4 sets a weekend.
Yeah.
It gets expensive once you consider lodging and hotels and all that stuff. A trip out to Lincoln for the solo nationals usually cost Dad and I, well, I say Dad and I, cost him a pretty decent penny.
Yeah.
He poured a hell of a lot of money into me just driving go-karts, and we did it at just an autocross level. If you want to compete for like a national karting championship, you'd be looking at spending a stupid amount of money, more money than I'll probably ever see in my entire life, just to try and make it happen. I mean, that's with the shifter carts, because those things just eat fuel and eat tires. Those things are, if anyone gets a chance to drive a shifter cart, I highly recommend it. I also highly recommend getting some painkiller medication afterwards, because it's not a pleasant experience. My back can attest to that. But karting is stupidly expensive, and I give a lot of the high-level karters in this country, guys like his name probably won't apply to a lot of the people tuning in. A guy like AJ Myers, who runs for Magic Kart in the US and like international karting scene. Guys like that, guys like Marian Kremers. I'm just listing the guys who usually run the shifter kart stuff. Those guys are quick. And the amount of money and effort that goes into a program like that, just running karts, a lot of people gloss over it. It costs a pretty penny, and you have to work like hell to try and do that stuff. So I feel like karting does get a bit of slack when it comes to like levels of racing.
So Jim says something here, and I'm going to come back to this when I can figure out a way to get this video downloaded. But your dad said it was he goes, the money folks spend on racing is really mind-bending. Compare it to any other hobby. Put that in a family budget. It'll break a spreadsheet. And your dad said it was a blast. It was priceless. The reason I say that is because I've got a video that you sent me a while ago, so I got to go back and find it. And I think it may have been I think it may have been your first video or your first race. I know it was a drag race. So we will, I'll have to go back and find that video so I can share it, here on the podcast, because it was one of the most priceless things I think I've ever seen watching how old were you there, Ron? 5, 6?
I think the video that you're referring to, I was 4 at the time, potentially.
Wow. Yeah. So the video that you guys are
racing
see,
very, very young.
Yeah. And it's really impressive. So, Papa Ron, you did a good job, but, there have got to be more questions. I know for a fact there's going to be more questions in here. Stevie, I'm going to hand it over to you because I have got to find this video. It's one of the coolest, most heartwarming things I think I've ever seen.
Well, I'm going to put it up to JG. He hadn't had a chance very much tonight.
Hasn't got a word in edgewise, the poor
right.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so in between the last podcast you're on and this one, I got a chance to join you in the broadcast booth for one race. And it from Louise when I skipped a week.
Fulton Park
and
in the rain.
yeah. And yeah, like just kind of I was surprised with not surprised, but because I kind of knew how difficult it is to commentate and keep track of everything that's going on the screen, and know what to say and say it in a quick and concise manner, something that I'm not good at. But yeah, to that kind of skill, did you always kind of have that, or is that kind of something that you always work on, or kind of walk me through like what are you thinking during one of those broadcasts?
I'm not sure.
It's usually just TV static. Yeah, that's fair, Stevie. But it's definitely a skill that's developed over time. Looking back on some of my first broadcasts that I did, and incidentally, tomorrow is going to be the 2-year mark of my first ever Weekend Warrior show, which I think was my 3rd or 4th broadcast ever. It took me a while to kind of figure out how to like compartmentalize all the stuff going on. And I feel like I can kind of draw a little bit of it to what I did in the racing. Because, I mean, to those who aren't familiar with what autocross is with the SCCA, take a parking lot, litter it with a bunch of traffic cones, make a course out of it, day of a show, and then go out there. You got 4 runs, basically, get the job done. For me, kind of doing that broadcasting stuff, you kind of have to go into it for me with an autocrosser's mind, just thinking of like, okay, how can I spot trends and spot patterns and spot what works and what doesn't very early on. And then instead of for like a normal autocross where you just basically have to throw all that stuff away at the end, you just like grab one thing at the end of the show and be like, okay, this is good, I can work on this. As much as it is definitely joked about, understandably so, about some of the sayings and stuff that I have on the air, my mannerisms and all that stuff like that have definitely developed over time. Even my broadcast closes and opens and the way they've developed over the years, it's a constant evolution when it comes to all of that stuff. And I mean, it continues to change. 5 months ago, I probably thought that I was a fantastic commentator. Albeit I may have been a narcissist back then. Who knows? I maybe still be today. But you go from that to like now, and the way that I usually go about broadcasting, it's like night and day in terms of taking a show from what I was doing back in October to what I'm doing now in March. Is it better? Is it worse? I'm not too sure. That's usually up to the viewers to decide that for me instead of myself. But kind of just developing that sort of stuff over time. I'm always trying to figure out ways to change my work and try and improve it. Sometimes I swing for the fence, I end up getting struck in the eye with a baseball. Sometimes it's a home run. I never really know until end of the show. I'm starting to think it over.
Tam says you're a metaphor maestro.
I like that. That may have to be my new nickname. We've got a whole bunch of nicknames. I mean, we got the professor. We've got. I'm trying to think. We got the janitor.
I just noticed that was there.
The professor. Oh,
it's been there since.
It's been there the whole time, man. Well, before we started this show,
or week before.
Wow.
Well, you gotta live with the saying now.
Nope.
All right. So I'm gonna have to come to somebody that's way smarter than I am. I found this video on YouTube, and I don't quite know how to get this to so I can share a screen, but I don't know if it's going to pull the audio in, which is the problem here. Got any ideas, Jason, how to pull in a audio video from YouTube?
I think we did last time the application capture.
Audio.
Don't mind us, guys. We're just trying to figure this out on the fly. This happens.
There
we go.
I'll break out the harmonica soon, and nothing would drive this audience away quicker. I can assure you that much.
Because
we've heard it.
Can you get the actual video on the screen?
Way too much.
Yeah, so I can get the video here. Watch this. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna bring this over here. So we're all gonna disappear for a minute, guys. So now we're watching the back of Ron's head. By the way.
Yeah.
So go back to application.
Okay.
Back when I still had somewhat short hair. It's funny, when I was 2 years old, I used to have long hair, and the pizza guy would always come to the house and say to my dad, "You have a wonderful daughter."
Oh my gosh. No way, Ron.
My dad can attest to that. That did actually happen. On several occasions, mind you. And he will remind me of it until the day that I am blue in the face.
All right, so here
we go.
This was back in 2009, I believe.
Yep, 2009.
So you're going to see Ron. This is Ron's dad with the camera. So just watch this. That was cool, he says. I mean, it's just unbelievable. You know, like you said, he got you started extremely early, Ron. Just wild, man.
That he did. He dragged me out of preschool that day. He took me out for a doctor's appointment.
Dragged you out of preschool to take you to a drag race. That is the most American thing I think I have ever heard.
I mean, he did that on several occasions too. He would bring me to Englishtown, New Jersey. That was Raceway Park in Englishtown. Sadly, that drag strip has been torn up. It's now Drift Circuit, I believe, and they still have the kart track out there in the parking lot. But he would bring me there, and he would bring me to Maple Grove Raceway, which I always confuse with Willow Grove Raceway, which is the name of one of the suburbs here in the city of Philadelphia. But it is Maple Grove Raceway by Reading, and he would bring me to those two places pretty much every single year from when I was 4 up until I was 8. And that kind of built the speed demon, I guess, that you see on camera today.
So,
race car nerd.
Speaking of speed demon here, Ron, we had Morgan Burkhardt on the broadcast a couple weeks ago. There's a picture that Stevie put up.
Let's see this.
All right, so I
see me as a fat 12-year-old.
I've got the picture. I can add it in here. So give me 1 second, and we will make this happen. So yeah, there's a picture that Stevie found. Oh, don't let me do all the things here, guys. Just don't mind me. I'm just, doing things.
Here we go again.
Trying to get stuff all sorted out here. I believe it's so. Again, we're getting there. It's fine. But yeah, there's a picture here of you and Morgan way back in the day, actually.
Yeah.
And I believe from what I heard, there was a go-kart that went to him, correct? From you guys?
Yep. And I'll have to see the photo that you're loading up in question. It may have been a photo taken from when we sold the cart to him, which was a rather funny experience in its own regard. So
really,
yeah, it's I think this photo that we may be loading up first. Yeah, so that's from Solo Nationals out in 2017. By that point, I'd sold the cart to him in like the fall of the year prior, sold to him towards the end of 2016, and I was running in the Junior A category. So they had 3 junior kart classes, JC, JB, and JA. I was in the JA class because I was 12 years old and I could jump up to that. He was in JB, so the JA karts are a little bit quicker. I had the option of running in either Junior B or Junior A, because there's 1 year of crossover. When you're 12, you can decide to stay in the B class or move up to the A category. I'm probably speaking in tongues, so most of the people are unfamiliar with the autocross stuff, but this is how the junior karts worked before the SCCA canned them back in 2020, unfortunately. So I was in the Junior A category. Morgan was running in the Junior B class in my old karts. He was at their... this was 2017, September, Solo Nationals out in Lincoln, Nebraska. One of the first runs, this was, I believe, on day 2, if my memory serves me correctly, because on day 1, I was working, because anyone outside of Junior B had to work, so I was 12 years old working tire cleaning, which was an interesting experience in its own regard. We just basically sprayed a small little concrete pad that was like completely covered in tire marbles with water, and then collected money from people so they could do some donuts around there. It was a very easy job, except from the fact that I would get sunburn, which was always an interesting experience. It's like, who's cooking bacon around here? So I was working tire cleaning when Morgan was out there on track for day 1. That cart, those old Comer 80cc motors had such massive gears on the axle. I remember one time running a gear where you had about a pencil being the difference between the bottom of the chain and the ground it was sitting there. Jeez. And as he shared, there was a lot of weight on that cart because he was a shrimp, and you could see me. So it was. So anyone who's been out to Solo Nationals knows that is not a very smooth lot. It's a military airport. It's the ramp for one of the main runways they have around there, and you can see it's concrete pads. And out there on the track, there's sometimes an inch of gap between some of those concrete pads. So it's really bumpy out there. So I think on his second run, hit one of those bumps, popped the chain off, and basically wrapped around the axle. So I was at tire cleaning, hearing 2JB stopped on track, put out the red flag. We need to recover him. I was like, oh God, what happened? I didn't really know what was going on. Turns out that was the case. And my dad and Morgan's parents, mainly Morgan's dad, if my memory serves me correctly, were basically MacGyvering the cart together for day 2. They went to a local machine shop to get stuff worked out to try and fix it. It was a whole rigmarole, and I was kind of, I mean, I had my own cart to worry about, so I was like, I feel like I should be focusing more on my cart than someone else's. But I was like, well, we'll fix that cart. We'll get it all squared away. I ended up finishing 4th in the JA class that year, which was a final trophy spot, which I still am super proud of. I think I could probably find one of my nationals trophies very easily if you give me the time. That was how 2017 nationals went, and that was where that photo was from. I think, do you load up another one of the one where I'm wearing the hoodie behind him as he's sitting in the cart? That was from the day he bought it back in 2016.
Okay.
So I'll share this story, and again, I'll let you guys get a word in edgewise here in a couple of moments.
Oh, you won't.
Blabbermouth, it comes by trade. So 2016 it was the fall of 2016. It was down at was it FedEx Stadium down in Capitol Heights, Maryland, I believe it is, where they used to run a lot of the Washington D.C. region autocross events. We drove the cart down there because we had it up for sale, and they expressed interest in buying it. So we drove it down there with that trailer. You can see the old trailer that we used from when I first got into karting back in 2013. We still use that thing up until 2020.
Oh, that's what you guys put together with plywood and...
Yeah, that was actually the second iteration of that. You can see like bits of PVC pipe and the new black wood, which was coated in Flex Seal, mind you. That was an alteration we had to make when I got my second cart. You can see the gray wood on the bottom. That's where we used to put this this top cart. And interestingly enough, there's been 3 owners of that top cart. I was in the middle. Morgan, I believe, still owns it to this day. And the previous owner was, I can't remember if it was David Green's son, Austin, who races in Trans Am. Austin Green was the original owner of this cart. Had like no miles on it at all. We bought it from a guy who organized the rental cart program at Raceway Park in Englishtown, New Jersey, who we had met at a indoor go-kart track called Speed Raceway. They were organizing a tournament event, and I was one of the participants competing against his son. And they were like, hey, if you ever get serious. And then he handed my dad the business card. So we ended up buying this cart and then sold it to Morgan in late 2016. I remember after his first run, I walked up to him, and with my 11-year-old voice, I was like, now you can go a little bit quicker through here if you can go flat out through here. The cart has the grip. And I was like, okay, sure. And then went through there flat out, like no questions asked. He was like, okay, cool. And at that moment, I was like, yeah, he's gonna go far. The true mark of a good race car driver is that they have no sense of self-preservation.
Yep. That's true.
Yep.
That's very, very true. Yeah, I just wanted to share those pictures. I mean, we talk about this all the time, Stevie. How big of a world that we live in. I mean, it's huge, right? And then you've got people like Morgan Burkhardt and Ron Maunz, who I didn't know knew each other until 2 weeks ago when I saw that picture on there the first time. I mean, it's crazy big, crazy small. So yes, by the way, Jim did say, Ron, you are 100% responsible for Morgan's success now. That is you and Papa Ron's fault right there for making him big.
Yep. Technically, he's the only driver who I've ever coached. So I have a 100% track record of coaching drivers who end up making it.
There you go. Yep. Stop like now. You're done.
Honor.
Yes. There you go. But yeah, man. I mean, I could talk to you for hours. As we know, both you and I have the gift of gab. So I will.
Whenever we're on the air, it's not even itchy and scratchy. It's like murder and accessory.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Ron. Which is why I enjoy commentating with you so much. We do have a blast, and I will say that I think these last few months before I totally got out of slow motion broadcasting have been my most favorite few months that I've had here. It's crazy to think that I've owned this company since, we just talked about this, since March of 2021. And these last few months have been the most enjoyable for me. And most of it is attributed to yourself, Stevie, Josh, Mike Braun, Randall McGrew, people like that who have stuck with me the whole time and made this, well, not you obviously didn't stick with me. You just met me. But you guys have made it very, very enjoyable. And that's a testament to you, Ron, and I'm shouting you out, man. To think of, how young you are, but the type of head you have on your shoulders, man, is pretty impressive. And Papa Ron, you raised him okay. He might be a little bit loose. I think there are a few. Yeah, there might be some hollowness up there. He just knocked on his head. I don't know if it's all there, but it's mostly there.
Yeah, you hear some marbles once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I will reiterate a joke that I think I said on the air with you, Adam, how my dad and my best friend Kate will dogpile onto me and say that if there's ever ticking across the floor, it's the marbles falling out of my head.
Yeah.
A lovely supportive system I've got at home.
Yeah, exactly.
To steal a quote from Mike Braun over the broadcast yesterday, sharp as a marble.
That's a good one. Yeah.
No,
it's you've
as sharp as this box of tissues.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, you got the box of tissues ready.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah. We brought a community to SMB, and you guys created another community to go right along with it.
Yeah.
So great job to you guys. Like I've said before, it's a great marriage between the two, the Weekend Warriors, Ray Esports, SMB, all that. So proud to be part of it.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I say it every week, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. The people that I've met here through the SMB side, the new SMB, and obviously the Weekend
SMB
Warriors,
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, right. It's pretty impressive. It really is. Just to, sometimes I'll like wake up and I'll be, driving to work and stuff and be like, yeah, they're my friends. You know what I mean? Like there are things you think about. I'm thinking about racing again. I'm thinking about hanging out with, with people that, fuck, man, I've never met you guys. Let's be honest. And like I had a blast last night. I tell my buddies, they're like, what'd you do last night? I was like, oh, I was hanging out with my friends online, They're like, really? I was like, you don't get it. You just don't get it. You really don't until you've done it.
Unless you take a look and check it out. It's kind of hard to comprehend.
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty awesome. But let's see. Are there any questions for Ron here? I guess we can open it up real quick here. We got about 10 minutes.
For a few minutes, yeah.
Dan wants to know where the cough drops are.
Yeah. And Trenton's commenting about you totally getting out of the SMB.
Yeah, Trent says out. Quote,
Yeah.
end quote. Well, I mean, my plan was to be out, and I'm hoping the only time you hear me is when I beat Jason Green in the interview broadcast waiting room. That's my plan.
So no one mentioned the latest crossover between Sim and Real on Sunday. Jorg following the race while driving his real car.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Oh, was he in the chat? I didn't.
Once in a while. He taught me because I was typing a few times in the V's and while I was driving, and then Jorg taught me. So
yeah.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone's saying in-car race reporting. I can tell you right now, to anybody, I think Ron can do it. You do not want me.
I have done it.
Yeah, you don't want me to be an in-car race reporter. SMB will get removed off of YouTube in about 30 seconds. I promise you it will not take long. Jason has been hanging out with me while I drive. The words that come out of my mouth are not good. Well, they're not good words.
I can do this for you, Adam.
Expected.
Exactly.
I can do this for you, Adam. Let me. And we're about halfway through this race, so let's have a chat with our in-race reporter for the evening. It's our SMB buddy, Mr. Adam Thompson. Adam, how's the race been going for you? I'll tell you what, Ron, this dumb son of a... And we're off the air.
That's about right, Ron. No, it really is. And yeah, it's funny, like, you know,
get that SMB sensor bleep. It's fair use.
Yeah, we need to get a hold of Jason's beep that he uses every time I'm in a Discord chat with him, because there are quite a few beeps that come across every time Jason has me in a video with him.
It took me a long time to edit that video from Sunday.
yeah, I know it did. But yeah, man.
Sis boom ba.
Yeah, sis boom ba. What do you say, Ron? Sis boom ba. The sound a sheep makes right before it blows up, right?
Yeah. Sis boom ba. Describe the sound made when sheep. Thank you, Stevie.
Yeah.
See, that was actually a thing from Karnak the Magnificent on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. It's like the most iconic Karnak line.
Yes.
And I tried saying it, and I failed horrendously.
Yes, you did. Twice, and it made it even better the second time, Ron. So...
not as slick as 80 grit sandpaper.
Michelle said, Ron saying Prince of You Know What on Friday night had me crying. I was laughing so hard. While Dan Tunney won his first 8-track race.
Yeah, the Formula V draft party. There was some stuff said during that I will not bear repeating on the air.
Thanks.
It's kind of fun to let my hair down a little bit because
well,
it's already
down.
You got it. Yeah. just if I ever appear on this podcast again, I'm going to lay a towel down, get a can of hairspray, and just have it like standing up like this the whole time. I look like a pop star from the 1980s.
We're gonna hold you to it.
Yeah, 100%, Ron. 100%.
Yep. All right.
Nothing would blow the audience quicker.
Dan said Ron learned some of Guido's nicknames on Friday night, and I apologize. Yep. So also things you can't repeat on air for 1,000, please. But
some of them are fine.
Yeah, some of them are okay. But yeah, I think that's it. For me, Stevie. I got to work in the morning.
Yep. Yeah, I got to get up early. I got some workers coming to do some fencing for me. So.
Stevie, hey, before we get off the podcast,
I can feel this one coming.
Why are those workers coming to do some fencing for the same or another issue that I heard before we went on air?
A different. Yeah, no, this is just finishing a project. I've had 2 of the 3 sides and back done, and this is just finishing up.
Stevie, if you don't mind sharing with the group here, what happened a couple days ago, Stevie, while you were cleaning your pool?
Yeah, I've got a bruised rib. We had a really bad dust storm. I'm sure you remember it. JG come through the other day, and I got a pool out back, and the bottom looked like mud. And I had my little brush, and I was pushing it off down towards where it would pick up for the filter, leaning it against the railing on my steps that go down in the pool. And the railing's been there about 9 years, and it's a saltwater pool. And you know what saltwater does to metal? And it let go, and I fell in the pool, landed on the railing and the steps. And so I'm the first one in my pool this year.
That when you said I'm the first one in my pool this year, I was like, oh no, I have to hear the story now, Stevie.
I maybe I'll share it with you guys. My wife pulled it off the security camera and shared it with my
Oh no, it gets even better, Stevie. I didn't know this.
Oh no.
And the worst part is I think she's probably shared that clip to be on America's Funniest Home Videos on ABC.
It may be, So don't make me laugh. It hurts too much.
Oh man. Well, if your wife if I ever get a hold of your wife's number, I promise you, if you don't share it, I will, Stevie. So it's quite a funny story. Speaking of fencing, you brought up the fencing thing, and I was like, we have to talk about it.
Thanks. And
rubbing salt into the wound.
Yes. Yeah, Stevie's adventures never ending.
That'll be video 1 of Stevie Ray's adventures right there.
Yeah. But Ron, I got to thank you for taking time out again. You're one busy dude, and taking time to join us here once again and share all your experiences and what you do and how you do it and everything is been entertaining. I know our chat group has enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it. You never fail to entertain us, and I thank you for that.
I appreciate the kind words, Steve. And I gotta say, going back to the point that I raised earlier on, even if it's making an ass out of myself, entertaining people is what I like to do. So, always happy to help.
Yeah. Yep. All right, you guys got any last minutes? Nope.
I just need to tell Jason. One thing. Need to get a little faster in the dirt, buddy. I beat you again this weekend. So, anyways, we can sign up.
Shots fired. All right, guys. Once again, thanks for all you guys do. Couldn't do this the podcast without you two. And once again, our 4-seat, Mr. Ron Maunz, appreciate it. And with that, we'll call this one a night. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Yep. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate your time, Frank. This gentleman has done wonders for sim racing, the real world racers that come into sim racing or go back and forth. Frank's responsible to get some guys out on track. So without further ado, Mr. Frank Swartz, Grass Paddock Motorsports, tell us what you do.
What do we call this thing? The Raycing Line. I'm all out of sync. We got more people to deal with this week than what I'm used to. So thanks to my co-host, Jason, for joining us. Adam's back this week. And as you can see, we got a fourth sitting here. Megan Oversheet is already joining us to help us do some reviews and stuff. So thank you, Megan.
Let's go, Megan.
And help us. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, we're just getting ready to review the spec racers, and since we had an announcer in the waiting room, we thought we'd go ahead and bring you in.
Well, thank you very much.
There he is.
Hey, we got him.
Hey, Jason, we got you this time.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
We won't talk about the other time.
Our special guest for the evening, Mr. Dave Ogburn, and for Dave to introduce you to these two knuckleheads, you got. Great to see you, Thor. Welcome to the fourth chair and the podcast this week.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It feels surreal, like finally being able to talk to you guys. You know, I've been in this league for like 2-3 years, and yeah, finally face to face.
Yes, of course, yes.
Jeff.
You're on the spot now, Jeff. Oh. So, welcome, Mr. Jeff Jacobson. Again. Great to have you here. Thanks for taking some time out to join us. We get to some fun part. That's why you're here, Jerry. This is our guest segment after the reviews. So thanks for sitting through with us. And
that was fun.
And
thanks.
Yeah, it's some good racing. So, well,
first of all, we gotta say thank you to Trenton for taking time to come join us. He's one of the hardest working guys I know, and you can look there in the shop behind him and get an idea of what he does. So as everybody sees, we've got Darren Ganji, and if you didn't know already, he is Mr. Sim Motion, where you can get all your sim rigs and equipment and everything. He's also the sponsor of that league we were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Sean Ambrose, we go back forever, back to the very early beginning days of the Weekend Warriors when it was broadcasted on another broadcast, GSRC, I don't mind saying it. Very good to us. And Sean was one of the producers, announcers, always great to talk with.
So, Mr. Edgar Sancinelli, Weekend Warrior, Frito Sport Racing. I don't know what all you do, but great to have you join us tonight, Edgar.
Yes. I'm not saying shit. Oh, yeah, I literally. Whatever,
Yeah,
I give up.
there you go.
I know you've had a mute for me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
just for the views when Adam and you were there. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's
jeez.
Oh yeah.